Thank you very much, Brian. Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk to you about my project, SGN Native. So a little bit about me first. I've always been passionate and interested in technology, even as a little kid. I'd spend hours tinkering away on computers. But when I went to college, I started volunteering for some nonprofits, and I found that many of them lacked skills or people to help them manage their website. And I kind of volunteered to fill that gap. So I started, exploring building websites, and that's when I kind of started falling in love with web development. Over time, I've built my skill set. I started out, simply with HTML and CSS, and over time, I've learned more about JavaScript, PHP, and object-oriented programming. And for a while now, I've wanted to turn web development into a full-time career. So when I discovered CodeU, I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity for me. That I've largely been self-taught, and I hoped they would fill in any gaps that I was missing. So, and it's been a fantastic learning experience for me, especially their help with with resume preparation, interview skills, and mock interviews has been fantastic. So a little bit about my project. SGN is a community that I started about 10 years ago. We have a website that's kind of a social network, and the website's been growing out of date, and it's been needed replaced for a while. On top of that, I've been exploring and learning more about front-end frameworks. And after taking on a project with React, I thought the next logical step would be to try React Native application. And for my community, I knew having a mobile application would be a great benefit to them. So this was a great opportunity for me to bring both of those things together and create a mobile application with web technologies, mainly JavaScript. When I was beginning to research the application, and I knew I wanted to find some libraries to kind of take some of the burden off me so I could focus more on features and abilities than reinventing the wheel. And these are some of the tools that I decided on picking. One of the main features I picked was React Native for Web. React Native for Web takes a React Native application, which is typically for a device such as an Android or an iOS device, and allows it to run in the web. And this was honestly one of the biggest challenges I had when I first took on the project. I kind of assumed that React Native for Web would basically be React in the browser. And it was a lot more complicated than that. So typically in React Native, you would use the image component to display an image. And my original assumption was that it would just output an image tag in the browser. But what you actually get here is more in the rendered markup. And this is because React Native for Web doesn't just make a React application, it actually creates an entire React Native environment in the browser. So this is done to provide complete backwards compatibility with everything that a React Native application would have on a device. And once I figured that out, it was much more an asset than a hindrance. So one of the main features I wanted to implement was the dashboard or the activity feed, which is pretty common among social media applications, which mine is made of three main parts: the composer, which allows people to post new items to the activity feed, an infinite scrolling feed, and each item in the feed is called a story in my particular website. Here you can see it with the loading state and with the empty skeletons. And then after a short time, the items load in, and then you can scroll down. Once you get to the bottom, you get a loading indicator and more items load in. This, of course, works on both the browser and on a mobile device the same. So after implementing the dashboard, I wanted to add in the ability to create notes. And this is where the composer comes into play. One of the main features that I used, or libraries I used, was called TanStack Query, and it's a state management library. So one of the nice features it allows is that you can set a particular query key. As you can see in the first snippet here, we have the query set to stories. And then when you when I post a note, I am able to invalidate that query, and that will cause TanStack query to automatically refetch the statuses from the server. So this allows them, both the components, to interact, but without being tightly coupled. After implementing the composer, I wanted to make sure that I also added read, edit, and delete functions, as well as the ability to place a comment on a note. So once you click on a note, you can go to it, view it, add comments, edit it, like here, as you see here. And this is really another area that TanStack really helped out, because it keeps the browser state in sync with the server state very smoothly. And then, as you can see, once you click on delete, it takes you to, you transition to the Note Now Found page. That is my application. So my next steps will be to, advance my career in web development, and add more features and social media applications to SGN Native. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you very much.